Hi fellow makeup lovers, it's Carrie and welcome to The Eyes Have It. I'm actually filming in my PJs today because I got a new pair of PJs yesterday and I thought they were just the cutest for makeup lovers, so I thought I would share them. I'm going to try to insert a picture in somewhere, maybe at the end of me from head to toe, but here's the top. So the shirt has a compact and lipstick on it. The other thing I wanted to point out is that I'm wearing the Tarte Secrets from the Amazon kit today. I wore the Found Sealer, the blush, all but one of the eyeshadows, the mascara on my bottom lashes. I did also use the lip gloss, but because the lip gloss is a little on the light side, I used a pinkish lip pencil, a Sephora lip pencil, and then I put the lip gloss on. What we're here for is to give answers to the questions that you've left for me. So here we go. For those of you who are new, these questions were left on my Q&A call for questions video. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Northernpart says, Dear Sherry, my question is, if you were an actress, what character would you like to act and why? And I'll tell you the very first thing that came to mind, and I know this is no longer appropriate, but when I was in high school, I still am very tiny, I'm 4'5", and when I was in high school, I was so little that the drama department director didn't feel like I was realistic to play adult roles. So she was forever finding childhood roles for me to play, and while I was resentful about that sometimes, I am so proud and so happy to have been able to play Scout in To Kill a Mockingbird. So the first thing I thought of was actually Scout, especially since Harper Lee just recently, or it was announced that Harper Lee had a new book coming out. And there are so many good ones. I would actually say something like Kerry Washington's role on Scandal, Olivia, because I just think that's a great, juicy role because you get to be, you know, this really strong, powerful woman and run your own business and get all these people out of all kinds of situations. And also anything that Judi Dench has done, especially Notes on a Scandal, which was a very intense movie, and her acting was so amazing. There were many scenes where only Dame Judy's face was on the screen, and she was so good at portraying whatever emotion she was going through at the time, just through her eyes and her face, and I'm always impressed when an actor can do that. A little side story about acting is that when I was in high school, I was a very, very, very shy girl, and yet I love drama, and we did 4 productions a year for 4 years of high school, so I did all 16 productions that were available to me. I acted in most of them. For a couple of them, I'd either student directed, did lighting, sound, that type of thing. But I really wanted to be an actress. That's what I wanted to do with my life. But I'm from a very small 2-stoplight town in Ohio, and the thought of, as shy as I was, going from a 2-stoplight town to New York City or to Los Angeles, which is where in my, you know, young warped brain I thought I had to go to be an actress, that was so terrifying to me that I just never did it. And now I'm 62 and my local theater has always been musical only. And now they're starting to branch out and get into other things other than music. And I'm actually thinking about possibly auditioning. I don't know. Scary. But that dream of mine has always been there, you know, in the back of my brain. And I would love to realize that dream someday. Another very interesting question is from DeeDee. If you could meet anyone from past to present, who would you like to meet and spend the day with? You know, when these kind of things go around on Facebook, as they always do, People always immediately jump to family, and while I completely understand that, I feel like it's the easy answer. But I gave some different thoughts to it. I mean, one of my dreams of many years is to meet Oprah, for a lot of reasons, but primarily because she has been able to do so much with her life, coming from very humble beginnings. And, you know, she's become probably the most powerful woman in our country, in the U.S., certainly one of the richest. But I think that's really fascinating, and I'd kind of like to understand what drives her, but also just to talk to her about books and that type of thing. Another one, if I was going to fall back on the family, my maternal grandmother died when I was about 6. I barely remember her. By the time I was 5 or 6 or 7, she was living with us. She had had a stroke, and she was she had no mobility. She lived in a hospital bed. I feel like I never really got to know her, and I think that my mother is a very complicated woman, a very strong woman. And I think that maybe it would help me understand my mother better if I knew her mother. There are just all kinds of people that I can think of for various reasons, both intellectual and fun, that would be wonderful to meet and spend the day with. But I guess those are my primary ones. Marcy Smith said, I was wondering if wearing makeup was in when you were a teenager. My father was very strict, and so I was not allowed to wear makeup. Gosh, I don't know that I was ever truly allowed to wear makeup. I know I tried a couple times. I didn't own any makeup at all because I didn't have my own money or any place to get makeup, because I lived, like I said, in a 2-stoplight town, and there was no way my dad was going to spend money on makeup. There was just no way. So the only thing that I remember from my teenage years, my mother had left when I was 12 and a half, somewhere around there, and there was this beautiful vanity, which I still own all these years later. And in one of those drawers, I found a cream eyeshadow, and it was in this pistachio mint green color, and I'm assuming that's something that my mother must have used. I thought my mother was very elegant and beautiful and very classy, stylish, for especially compared to the parents of other kids that I knew. And so I thought, well, you know, this makeup must be glamorous, so I'm going to put it on. And I know one time I tried, my dad stopped me before I got to the door, and he said, go wash it off. So, you know, I don't really remember. I'll have to ask some of my, I'm still in touch with a lot of my high school classmates on Facebook, so I'll have to ask them. But, you know, if makeup was in when I was in high school, it certainly was not on my radar. I don't think it was a big thing in high school. I'll have to check with some of my classmates and get back to you on that when I edit this and post it. Those are all the questions I got this time. You know, it's funny, when I did my first Q&A, I had more questions that I could hardly even squeeze into a video. And this time I only got 3, but the cool thing is that they were all really interesting questions. So thank you, ladies, for the interesting questions. Really cool questions. I hope I've done them justice. That is all. I think maybe since I didn't get many questions this time, instead of going for quarterly, I will drop down to semi-annually, and I will just do 2 Q&As a year. If you have any thought about the frequency of the Q&A, and you think it should be more than semi-annually or less than semi-annually, then just let me know down in the comments section. All right, thank you so much, Northern Part DeeDee and Marcy, for the questions. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.